Hey there, welcome back. It's JT from Work It Daily, and today I'm going to be sharing with you the 5 things you must have on your resume to get more job interviews. But before I do that, I want to remind you to hit the subscribe button, especially that little bell, which will notify you every time we share brand new career advice with you. Okay, let's get started. So I was in HR and recruiting for many years. I work with thousands of recruiters here at Work It Daily, and I'm here to tell you what they're looking for in a resume. And what I want you to think about is their job, because they get hundreds, sometimes thousands of resumes for one position, which means they have to skim them. They do not read every single resume. They have about 6 seconds. Studies show literally 6 seconds on average. The other thing that you need to know is that their eye works in a Z pattern. Within 6 seconds, they go left to right across the top of the page, down across it, and back over. So knowing that information, the secret to a great resume is leveraging that and optimizing how you design this resume so that they absorb the most amount of information about you in the shortest amount of time. Does that make sense? Okay. So before I go any further, I want you to share with me in the comments, be honest, how good is your resume? Do you think your resume is really ready for prime time? Do you think it meets these qualifications? Is your resume 6-second worthy? Does it absorb what they need to absorb in 6 seconds? Share with me in the comments below. I want to get your feedback. But now I'm going to move on and give you tips about what you can do to make that even better. Okay, number 1, first thing you must have on this resume is a headline. Not an objective statement, not a professional summary. These long-winded paragraphs that people are putting at the top of their resumes are a no-go. Recruiters do not read them. I can tell you right now, they go right over them. What you need is a simple 2 or 3 word sentence or summary about your skills as a professional. Let me give you an example. If you work in digital marketing and you've got a lot of specialty in that area, you might label yourself as a digital marketing specialist. It's clean, it's easy, and just within a second, I'm already starting to understand what your specialty is. And that's important because recruiters are hiring for specific things. Number 2, make sure that you've got white space on your resume. So what is white space? Well, it's all that white space in between all of the words. Now that might sound silly, but hear me out. When there is too much text on a page, it is impossible to read, and recruiters will not bother to read your resume. What you have to do is create wider margins, both on the sides, tops, and bottoms, and plenty of space in between things like your work history. The reason for that is that the eye is drawn into what it sees around the white space. In fact, all good marketers know this. I would tell you that it's better to have a resume that's 2 or 3 pages long and be full of white space and easy to read than trying to cram it all on one page and overwhelming the reader. So make sure that you create proper white space so that I can read everything on the page. Okay, number 3, it's all about key skill sets in the top fold of your resume. So what's the top fold of your resume? It's the top third of the resume. And if you think about it, if I'm online and I'm a recruiter and I open your resume up, that's the first thing I'm going to see. So besides that headline that I want in there, I want 2 columns, your top 8 to 10 key skill sets listed right there. Now, what are your key skill sets? Those are the things that you most want to leverage about yourself. They're the things that we can measure. They're the things that you do for a company. It's how you save or make them money. What are the tasks that you complete? These are the key skill sets, and you often find these in the bottom of your LinkedIn profile, so that can be a good place to look for them. But you want to put those front and center just underneath your headline so that very quickly I can read through them as a recruiter and go check, 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 check. He or she has everything that I was told that I need in order to share that with the hiring manager. This is going to make it really easy for them to start to form an impression about you as a professional. So with that in mind, I'm going to challenge everyone. Do you have key skill sets on your resume? Share with me in the comments below. I want to know how many of you understand this concept, and also any feedback on that. If you need more information, let us know. So number 4 is all about your work history, and specifically leading with your job titles in your work history. Now, I mentioned in the beginning of this that our eye works in a Z pattern on a resume. Well, when we go down the cross of that Z, what we're looking for is your work history, your chronological work history. That's all the jobs that you've held. And as a recruiter, I've been trained to look at your job titles. I want to see progression in your career, that you've grown with each and every job. So by listing your job title first and bolding that, it's going to make my eye quickly look at that and be able to analyze and see your job history progression. It's less important about where you worked and more important about what you did. So make sure in your work history you're always leading with your job title and that those are bolded so that I, the recruiter, can easily skim them. Okay, last but not least, number 5, this is all about the size of the font. So similar to white space, you have to make this readable, and having a large enough font is key. Nothing smaller than an 11-point font should ever be on your resume. So often I've seen resumes where everybody's trying to cram it on one page, so they make the font a 7, 8, 9-point font. Nobody's going to read that. It's impossible to read. If you make me squint, I'm tossing your resume. An 11-point font is going to make sure that it's large enough for everyone to read and read quickly. Like I said, I'd rather see you be 2, sometimes 3 pages long, but if I have that white space and that font at the right size, I'm going to be able to easily read your resume faster and absorb who you are as a professional. So there you have it, team, the 5 things you need on your resume in order to get more job interviews. To recap, let's make sure that we've got a killer headline. Let's make sure that we have plenty of white space. Be sure to have those key skill sets in the top fold. Always have your job titles bolded and leading in your work history, and make sure that you don't have anything less than an 11-point font. These 5 tips are going to help make sure that your resume stands out, that it's 6-second worthy, and that you get more phone calls from recruiters. All right, so listen, I want to hear from you. What did you think? Was this helpful? If so, will you hit the like button? And also, what questions do you have? Put them in the comments below. I'm going to be answering them all for you, so I want to hear from you down there, okay? And most importantly, if you like what you heard here today, will you do me a favor? There's a link, it's either up here or down here, to my new free webinar called The 8 Ways You're Shut Out of the Hiring Process. In 30 minutes, your mind's going to be blown. I'm going to show you all the roadblocks that you didn't even know about that are holding you back from finding the perfect job. Watch this video, and I guarantee your whole outlook on your ability to find your dream job is going to change. So there you have it. See you next time here. And please, with that in mind, remember this. If you want to win, you've got to work it daily.